Hey, what's up, guys? So I kind of had this question for Dino Rabbit players, or the Macro Rabbit players more so, but also anyone that has more experience with the deck than me. I mean, I think I relatively understand the mechanics of the deck, but I don't really understand why all these players are main decking Macro Cosmos in the Rabbit over D-Fissure. For me, D-Fissure seems like a much better option, and here's why. If the Dino Rabbit player goes first, they go D-Fissure. You can't drop Maxi, you can't drop Effect Veiler, you can't even Herald of Orange Light. And then you just summon Rabbit, and you're good to go. You don't have to worry about any of that stuff. Whereas Macro, you technically have to wait one turn. Also, downside is Macro Cosmos can get Solemn Warning because it does have the effect to special summon the Helios. Not that that really is really a factor in like turn 1 anyways, because it's not like your opponent can Solemn Warning from the hand. But yeah, that said, also, if you're going second, this is the way I look at it also. If you're going second and you're playing against Mermails, because let's be honest, Mermails is probably one of the highest tier decks at the moment. Like sometimes the first turn they'll just set Abyss Sphere, they'll set like a Lind if they don't have any plays. And if you have Macro, you gotta wait. Whereas if you have D-Fissure, you can go D-Fissure, Rabbit, Logia, or Dolka. I'd rather go for like Logia, but especially if you already have like Macro out, because their Macro is always Abyss Sphere. That's like all they have. So yeah, I really don't understand the point of main decking the Macro versus D-Fissure just seems faster. Although I will say one benefit that Macro Cosmos does have is you're playing against Dark Worlds and they go Dark World Dealings or they go Card Restriction and you chain Macro Cosmos. Yeah, because obviously discarding is not a cost. Otherwise, Dark Worlds wouldn't get their effect with like something like Card Destruction. So that said, Macro would just be better in that aspect. But if the player has MST, of course they're going to MST either one of those. So that's not really like an argument right there. As far as you can chain MST. I mean, you can to Macro. You can just MST D-Fissure anyways. I just feel like D-Fissure is a faster card. I don't know. It just really feels like Dino Rabbit could really make much more use of the D-Fissure. Versus the Macro, especially going first. Like I mentioned before, no Maxi, no Veiler. Your Rabbit is a lot stronger because you don't have to worry about them drawing additional cards, especially if you're going for like a big play when you go for the Tour Guide Live play. But that said, yeah, it just seems like D-Fissure is a lot faster, and I'd love to know if you guys have a response to why you prefer Macro, because again, Lind wouldn't hit the graveyard because, obviously D-Fissure would stop that. So I just feel like, again, if your opponent goes first and they set like Lind or Abyss Sphere, D-Fissure it just seems like a better card. Because Macro, you essentially got to wait, and I just feel like the meta's gotten to the point where it's so fast. Like, that one turn is, well, I mean, in Yu-Gi-Oh! In general, like, just that one turn always makes a huge difference in the game. So that said, if you guys are playing this deck or understand why perhaps players are playing Macro versus D-Fissure, I'd love to know what you guys have to say about this, because maybe you guys can tell me why the Macro Rabbit is, like, a popular deck. Well, I understand it's a popular deck, but why not D-Fissure Rabbit? Fissure Rabbit just seems like a better choice, because I know technically that the X-Seed materials they'll still go to the grave with the the waters, but the thing is, like, how often does that deck exceed? It's more about setting Undyne, using Undyne's effect. It's more about Abyss Megalo just discarding. I really don't think the deck exceeds that much. I mean, occasionally I'll see them make like Daigusto Phoenix to just go for like the OTK, but realistically, that's a wind, and it just doesn't seem like that great of an option. But yeah, I'd love to know what your arguments are for running Macro over D-Fissure in the Rabbit build, or just any deck in general, because I mean some decks can definitely main deck this, or D-Fissure. I just think D-Fissure is a faster card. But yeah, I'd love to know what you guys have to say. But thanks for watching. Asian Eyes White Dragon signing out.